Tell us, what did you investigate about the opposition leader's declarations?
Okay, so this really started with last year. I had started as an investigative series on politicians and their offshore companies. And it took me a lot of reporting time. I tend to take some time with these investigations because I'm doing other things in between as well. And sometimes it just takes a hard time to get the information that I need. Anyway, during the whole back and forth this year, because I was getting ready to be able to ask him, prepared to ask him certain questions now, the opposition leader, he revealed to me in August that, and this is August this year, that he had not, in his 2021 statutory declaration, that the return didn't, or the return included, let us say, the Garden Boulevard home and some other real estate that he owns with his wife, and intimated and implied that the house I was asking about at Farringdon Drive in St. Andrew wasn't part of his real estate declarations on the statutory declaration form. So I did a double take and I said, hold on a second. You know, this is very interesting. Mm-hmm. Garden Boulevard, by the way, was his first matrimonial home up in Mona with his wife. Mm-hmm. He sold that subsequently, and he sold it in 2022. Anyway, nevertheless, again, this was because of my investigation of his offshore companies, including the one, Tajibi, in the BVI. Tajibi owns that house at Farrington Drive. Nice house. Mm-hmm. So I kept asking, and he said, in essence, the Integrity Commission has always been aware that I used Farringdon Drive as my address when I file my integrity or statutory declarations. And they've always been aware that it's not been filed as part of me and my wife's real estate holdings. Mm-hmm. So I found that very strange because I'm saying, okay, in the exchanges we've had, you've told me that up until mid-2021, you and your wife were 100% the shareholders, owned 100% shares of Tajibi. And yet, this is not declared. The asset that is held by Tajibi is not declared as part of your real estate holdings that are owned by you and your wife, at least between 2007 when you became a senator and had a duty to report, up to mid-2021 when you said you transferred the shares, 100% of the shares, to your adult children. Mm-hmm. Strange. I asked the question, did you declare it under a different asset category? Because, you know, there are shares, there are all kinds of categories of assets.
Yes.
And he just would not answer that question.
He wouldn't answer directly? Or he what? He sidestepped it? He what? What did he do? What did he say?
He wouldn't answer that question.
Oh?
He answered a lot of other questions, give him credit. Uh-huh. But he wouldn't answer the question about that part of it.
And the specific question you'd asked him?
I would have to go back to the specific question, right? But, and I would have to search for it. It's going to take me a little while. But what I will tell you is, in the story, there was an interesting quote by him where he said, the house is, I'm not the beneficial owner of the house. That's what he said. I'm not the beneficial owner of the house. I was the beneficial owner of the shares.
In Tajibi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't even know if that's the pronunciation of Tajibi. That's my pronunciation, by the way.
It is spelled T-A-J-E-B-E.
T-A-J-E-B-E. Registered in the BVI in 01.
And is it a trust registered in the BVI? What is it?
From my understanding and his explanation, let's use his explanation.
Sure.
It's a company. He used the word company.
Uh-huh.
And he said it was established for estate planning purposes. That's what he said.
Oh, sounds familiar.
Very.
Yes. But
Very familiar.
But he did not declare those assets in Tajibi. Is that what you're saying?
Well, let me just say this to you. I'm going to read this paragraph of the story. Pressed again as to whether the Farringdon Drive house was declared, since he did have a beneficial interest in Tajibi for most of the year since 2007, when he had a due to declare his assets, and since Tajibi owned the Farringdon Drive house at the time and still does, he answered, "That is not correct. The house is an asset of the company. I was not a beneficial owner of the house. I was a beneficial owner of shares in the company. To treat it otherwise would be double counting, inaccurate, and misleading." Asked if that reference to double counting meant that prior to mid-2021, he did report the assets of Tajibi to the commission, including the Farringdon Drive house. He didn't respond.
So he's giving you a very legalistic response, yeah, based on definitions under company law. That's what he's doing.
Well, I don't know if these are definitions on the company's law, because you might want to speak to attorneys about this, but the attorneys I spoke to, based on the sheet, the statutory declaration form, what is required, they believe that the asset, the house, should have been declared, even if owned by Tajibi, at the time between 07 to 21.
And that is a critical thing now. Whether the Integrity Commission's forms, yes, require that to be declared. That's where the story turns, right?
It is where the